Hello, everyone. Good morning, afternoon, or evening, whatever time you're listening to my voice. So, I am Adaoma Owekeme, and I have a topic to talk to you about today, and it's about procrastination. Yeah, before I start, I want to thank our mentor, Mrs. Tokpe, for the opportunity to have this discussion with you all. So let's get started. I know many of us have heard about the word discussion, procrastination. Sorry, procrastination, and it's like everyone talks about it. So, what is procrastination? Now, first of all, I want you to know that procrastination is not a sign of weakness. It's not laziness, right? Procrastination is just putting off a task intentionally until last minute. So you have an assignment to or midterm test to submit, but then you don't do it until the last day that you're supposed to submit. You plan to call a friend, and then you don't call the friend until maybe the friend calls you like, why haven't you called me? Right? So that's procrastination. So to understand procrastination, I know you're expecting me to start giving you tips and the rest of it. No, but I want us to first understand procrastination, and I want you to know that you if you are procrastinating, we all do. We all in short, making this audio, I procrastinated before I made this audio, and I'm going to explain why as we go along this discussion. Now, I want you to know that you are not the first person, and you won't be the last person to procrastinate. Now, if you know, there's a prominent poet, a writer, Victor Hugo. He wrote the book of the poem La Miserable and the Hunchback of Notre Dame. I think you know him. He's a French writer. Yeah. He procrastinated a lot. He had a book to write, and then he couldn't. He couldn't write, and it was almost getting to the deadline. What did he do? He he asked his servant to take his clothes, and they hid them. So he spent for whatever time he had to sit down to write, he was without clothes on. And so he was forced to sit down in his study to write that book. And he ended up getting the book ready 2 weeks before the time. Now, the problem with that kind of system is that it's repeating itself. It's going to continue repeating itself. So what we are going to talk about today is a way to stop. Is a way to intentionally stop this art of procrastination. So Jennifer Shannon, she has done a great work dealing with procrastination as it relates to teenagers. And I'm going to borrow a leaf from her work and explain to you how this works. So according to her, there are 4 types of procrastinator. And she said they are perfectionist, the rebel, the pleaser, and the warrior. Now I'm going to explain what each of this type means. This 4 types of procrastinators. Now, for the perfectionist, now when you hear the word perfectionist, you think that someone, it means that you're perfect. No, it means that you believe that you should be perfect. Now there's a need to excel at everything. If you don't do it perfectly, you're not doing it at all. They need to feel respected, and someone who gets everything done perfectly. I don't want to make any mistake so that I'm not laughed at. I don't want to give the wrong answer so that I'm not mocked. I'm not going to write this assignment so that I don't get less than 100. That's a perfectionist. You're making decision. Making decision could be a very serious problem for perfectionists. So, if you procrastinate on tasks because you are afraid that others will judge your performance, then you could be a perfectionist. Or if as a task gets more difficult than you expected it to be, you give up because you feel you are not able to give to this task, then you may be a perfectionist. The fear of failing always gets in the way of a perfectionist. Now I'm going to use myself as an example. When I was given this topic, I'm like, procrastination? Can I do this? Now the fear of failing, the fear of not giving my best I procrastinated making this audio up until this time. I wanted to give my 100%. Now we go to the pleaser. Now for the pleaser, so let's say you wake up this morning and you have your schedule all fixed. And then in the middle of the day, you plan to go to the library by 2 p.m., you have things to do already. And let's say by 8 a.m., a friend calls you and say, oh, please, can you escort me to another friend's house? And you're like, oh, I don't want to displease my friend. I can study tomorrow. And then, okay, I'll go with you. I'll go with you to this other friend's house by 12 p.m., right? And you're supposed to go to the library by 2 p.m. So you're putting off your engagement for this friend. And then when you get off the call, another friend calls you and say, oh, hello, Nkechi. I'm coming to the mall close to your house. Can you meet me out there in the next 20 minutes? Now you have a library appointment by 2, right? And then another friend had called you to meet her to go to visit another friend by 12. And this another friend is calling you, right? To go with her to the mall by 10 a.m. And then what do as a pleaser? You put off your engagement. You go with your friend to the mall, and then you're tired. With your tired body, you go again with this other friend to visit another friend. That's a pleaser. A pleaser thrives on social connection. Oh, if I don't do it, maybe they will not like me. A pleaser put off things to be done for themselves because they are busy doing things for others. Now, pleasers are afraid on focusing on their own agenda because they feel if they focus on their agenda, others will get mad at them. And this threatens their need for social connection. Now, do you put other needs before yours? Do you feel, do you find it hard, to say no to someone else? Are you always comfortable allowing others make decisions for you? You might be a pleaser. Now let's quickly go to the third type of procrastinator. That's the rebel. Now for this kind of people, if a task doesn't make sense to them, they are not going to do it. They're not going to follow the instructions of their parents. They're not going to follow the instructions of their teachers. If the task is assigned by someone else, they are most likely to put this kind of tax off. For rebels, ownership of a tax is very important to them. Oh, I'm not going to sell myself. No, it's very stupid. How would this teacher ask me to do this stupid thing? I can't. No, they feel that the idea must come from them. So let's say you're already cleaning your room. You decided by yourself to clean your room. And then while you're cleaning, your mom just passed by and said, oh, it's about time you cleaned your room. I see that you're doing a good work. Well done. Keep on. Now, in your mind, I decided to clean the room. Why is mommy saying it's about time? And because of that, you say, I'm not cleaning the room again. I'm not cleaning the room again, That's a rebel. They want to own. They feel like they're independent thinkers, right? They don't, if something is not fair to them or if something doesn't make sense to them, they will not do it. Now, the last one is the warrior. These ones are motivated by they're motivated by excitement. A task must be exciting to them before they do it. It must be engaging. Yes, they work with engagement. A task must be engaging to them. If not, they're not likely to do it. And the thing about warriors is that they're susceptible to distractions if they're not fully engaged. Routine work will feel like a huge burden to them. They need to feel motivated to do a task, and then when they are doing that task, they could be so absorbed in that task that they've put off all other things, and that's why sometimes they're accused of being late for appointment. I mean, it's not just that they don't want to go for that appointment, just that they were engrossed in a task that they felt was engaging, and that they forgot all other tasks they're supposed to do. Now, do you get restless easily and you want to go up and move around? Do you have difficulty, sticking with assignments that you find boring? You might just be a warrior. Now, you could fall in one or two or three of this category. I fall into perfectionist and warrior. If a task is not engaging for me, I sometimes get distracted. Now, when you procrastinate, You're thinking, I will do it later, right? You're thinking, oh, there's plenty of time. You're thinking, "Ah, I can't do this now because I have to see my friend. I can't do this now because, these thoughts are called tax avoidant thoughts. And now, these thoughts are fed by your root belief. This is the most important part. Now, root belief. We're going to deal now with the root belief. Why do perfectionists, put off tasks if they feel they're going to fail? Why are pleasers putting off tasks for the sake of others? It's their root belief. Now, for a perfectionist, I must not make mistake because making mistakes equal failure. That's why perfectionists procrastinate on even something as simple as a class essay because they don't want to fail. They put off tasks because I don't want to fail. Failure for them is it's not something that they want to think about. But on the flip side, failure does not mean that it's not a wrong thing, because failure means that you're doing something wrongly. I mean that the right way to do it. And when you fail, you are able to decode the right way to do it, isn't it? Now, but perfectionists do not know this. Now, I'm going to send a worksheet through Ms. Tokwe for everyone, so that you take the exercise to identify your root belief. Now, if you think of something you've been putting off. Think of something you've been putting off and ask yourself, why don't I get started? What is it I'm afraid of? Now, if I get started, what is the worst possible thing that could happen to me? Now, this is an exercise to help you identify your root belief. Your root belief could be that I must not make mistake, right? Now, number 2, the warrior. Now, for the warrior, that feeling of excitement about it, that means that task is more urgent. So, they only engage in tasks that are stimulating, tasks that are engaging. And these tasks take priority. So, for them, they must feel motivated. So that's why you find yourself, instead of you attempting your midterm assignment or test, you are playing video games with your friends instead, because you feel that's more stimulating. If it's more engaging, right? Now, with the pleaser, they have the tendency to put off their own personal tasks for others. Because their root belief says, if I displease others, I will be rejected. They will get mad at me. So I don't want to fall out with my friends. I don't want to displease my friend. I don't want to disappoint my parents. I don't want to displease my parents. So my parents will not like me again. I must not displease them. That's the thought of the pleaser. Now, for the rebel, I cannot lose my self-esteem. I must not give in to others. That's the thought that comes to rebel. Man, that assignment is so stupid. How that teacher just gave us a stupid assignment. I know you've heard some of your colleagues say things like that. Now, so procrastination is a normal reaction to tasks that challenges our core belief. Now, we have talked about our core belief, right? For every one of these, this procrastinator type, the pleaser. They want to please people. If I don't please people, they will displeased with me. The perfectionist, I don't want to make mistake. The warrior, I must feel motivated. The rebel, I cannot lose my self-respect. Now, procrastination is a normal reaction that comes when any of these challenges your belief. Now, so when you're forced with a task that challenges you, your root belief comes to play. And then this root belief now feeds your tax avoidant thoughts. And that's why you are putting off tasks. That's why you're procrastinating. Now, let's take an example. You're preparing for a test, right? Now, you put this off to play with your friends. Because playing with your friends as a pleaser will, gives you this social connection. As a warrior, playing games with your friend is more stimulating, right? Now, this gives you an immediate relief. But then you are not at rest. You're haunted by you're afraid of failing this test. You begin to panic, right? And then before you know, you do some last minute abracadabra, you perform some magic, last minute magic, and then you manage to pass this test. Now, and then you start blaming yourself. Oh, why didn't I? If I had no, why didn't I prepare on time? Why didn't I prepare on time? Why didn't I prepare on time? And then the thing about this is that it's bound to repeat itself. It's bound to repeat. It's a procrastination circle. So, I'm going to end this audio now. We've talked about what procrastination is, and we've identified the four types of procrastinator and their root belief. In the next audio, I will be sharing with you tools to defeat procrastination. I hope this has been educating and enlightening. If you have any questions, please refer them to the mentors, and then your questions will be addressed. See you some other time.